12 leaders say it, and they just said it. And I started to realize that peace between Israel and the Palestinians for the Middle East is a very important thing, and we're trying very hard to get it. I think probably two-state is more likely, but you know what? If they do a single, if they do a double, I'm okay with it if they're both happy. If they're both happy, I'm okay with either. I think the two-state is more likely. Okay, how about one? Go ahead.
New York Times? New York Times?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I would have gotten a bad story in the New York Times, but I will anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. We'll do you after that, and then we'll call it quits.
We're kind of thriving, not failing these days.
You're doing very well. Yeah. Say thank you, Mr. Trump.
I think I'll stop short of that.
I wonder how you do. You know, all my life I've had very few stories, but I've had some on the front page of the New York Times. Now I think I average about 3 or 4 a day, right?
That is.
And of the 3 or 4, they're all negative. No matter what I do, they're negative. But you know what? That's okay. I still love the paper. Go ahead.
I wanted to come back to China because I think what you announced today was really important.
I agree.
You talk about this friendship you have with Xi Jinping, and yet essentially what you did today is accused his government of interfering in our internal affairs, subverting our democratic process, and doing it to hurt you, the Republican Party.
Doing it to help them.
And your backers.
Yeah, doing it to help them.
So how can a guy who does that be your friend?
I think that we are able to, and maybe he's not anymore. I'll be honest with you. I think we had a very good friendship. I think we had a very good relationship. We understand each other. They are doing studies on Donald Trump. They're trying to figure it all out because this has never happened to them before. It's never happened. Think of it. You've covered very well. You've never seen this happen. They're having big problems. I don't want them to have problems, but they got to make a fair deal. Just like Canada's got to make a fair deal. I believe that he and I have a very good chemistry together. And I can tell you that about many leaders. I can also tell you a few where I don't feel I'll ever have a chemistry with them. I don't want to have a chemistry with them. And for those people, I'll have Pompeo, Nikki, Bolton, Jared. I can go our general, I'll have our general, or if they can't do it, I'll have Sarah Huckabee do it, right? But for the most part, I have very good with Prime Minister Abiy. Very good with President Moon. By the way, what President Moon said last night, I know you won't report it, but Brett Baer interviewed him last night, and he asked him about me. I can't say because you would say I'm too braggadocious, but what he said about me last night was an unbelievable thing. Couldn't have happened without President Trump, and it never would happen without President Trump, and nobody else could do it. You'll take a look, but I will tell you, China is very special. Very special. They're incredible people. It's an incredible country. What they've done is unbelievable. And it all started with the WTO. It was a defective deal. And it all started without the WTO. China is not China as we know it today. And then it started also by our people that are standing right in this position, that are in the Oval Office, another way of saying it, allowed them to get away with murder, allowed a lot of countries to get away with murder. I think we still probably have a very good relationship, but you know what? In honor of you, I will tomorrow make a call to him, say, hey, how you doing? Okay? You don't mind paying billions of dollars a month?
I just have two small follow-ups. One is, how would you compare the level of interference you see today from the Chinese to what Russia did in 2016?
Well, I think it's different. If you look at the Des Moines Register, they have ads that are made to look like editorials saying about, oh, you got to stop Trump, you got to stop him, you got to vote against him. My farmers are so great. These are patriots. You know, on a network that doesn't like me very much, which is most of them, but a network that doesn't really treat me very good, they interviewed farmers. And they got hurt because, all of a sudden China stops buying. By the way, they've started buying again. I don't know if you've noticed. And soybeans are going up and things are going up. And we've had very little hurt from what I've done. In fact, the markets have gone up and the farmers are going to do great. But ultimately, they had farmers, and these guys are amazing. I love them. And they voted for me and they love me. And they said, we don't care if we get hurt. He's doing the right thing. And a lot of people, it's a complex game. a lot of people don't know exactly what it is. They don't know how to define tariff. They don't know it is really different than a tax, although it's getting close. But they know that for the first time in many, many years, they have a president that's fighting for them, that's not letting their jobs be taken to other countries, that's not allowing the kind of abuse that when you look at what happened as an example with NAFTA, and for years, because it was never changed. NAFTA was a defective deal the day it was signed. You know why? Because they had a VAT tax of 17%, and nobody from this country knew that. And by the time they found out, which was about a week later, nobody went and changed it. So you went many years, and they never changed it. There was a VAT tax that Mexico got. So we were 17 or 16 points behind before we even started. NAFTA was a horrible thing. So the farmers, and by the way, the steel workers, I stopped the dumping. The dumping was horrible. And now if they want to dump, that's okay, but they've got to pay the United States of America 25% on everything they dump. That's okay.